Great way to celebrate some of your favorite seasonal ingredients, especially in the spring. For me, this is just simple mushroom tempura, and you can add plenty of different things to it. Here's some tips for you. Keep your batter ice cold. I'll show you how I do that. If you can, use soda water, sift the flour, and don't use any wet mushrooms. That means they have to be perfectly clean. And that can be pretty tricky with the morels that you saw in the opening picture there. Very important to sift the flour. You can see I have a cup of flour there, and I sift it. Now we're going to just spoon it back into the cup and you will see how much flour is left in the bowl. That would have made our batter a lot thicker. That means the tempura would be much more heavy. Just take a straight edge. Look at all that flour that was left. Now we're going to weigh the water as well. We're going to have about 200 milliliters. I just adapt the tempura batter from Just One Cookbook. I do have a gluten-free one that I make with rice flour that's in the recipe notes on my site. And you can see we're going to take the water, and you can use soda water too. That's ideal. Beat the egg in there before you put the flour in. Now just mix this up and be sure not to overmix it. Try not to overmix it. We're just kind of folding it in. It's okay if there's a few little clumps. Totally fine. And as you'll see, I forgot to add the paprika, so I'm going to have to mix it a little bit more anyway. And paprika is optional, but it does help you get some color. There's the paprika. And you can see that I'm holding the bowl of batter over a bowl of ice. This is how I had my cooks in the restaurants I ran do tempura batter or other batters. Always, they'd keep them in the cooler on ice, keeps the batter nice and cold, makes sure that you get a really nice result. Now for the mushrooms, you can use any mushroom here. Unfortunately, I don't have the mushrooms that I have in the images. I use puffballs, I use morels and fiddleheads. This is just some basic king oyster mushrooms. Shiitakes are really good too. Just make sure they're in bite-sized pieces. Toss them in the batter. And a great trick here, I've talked about a few times in passing, is a paper clip stuck through a wine cork. This lets you just kind of prick the mushrooms and not disturb the batter when you put them into the oil. But as you'll see, I'll use a cake tester too because I couldn't find my cork. It's also a really cool way to save fancy wine corks if you have them. And it does a lot of other things too. And I use it as a thermometer, all kinds of stuff. So you see we just prick the mushrooms there, leave them in the oil for a second to just coagulate the outside. Don't overcrowd the pot. We want to get the oil to about 350. If I'm cooking morels, I'm probably going to cook them on a little bit lower heat because they need to be cooked longer than other mushrooms. When they're nice and light golden, they're not going to get true golden brown unless you cook these for like 10 minutes. That's fine. That's about what you'll get at a sushi restaurant. We're going to do this in batches here. It'll take about 2 to 3 batches, and I'm just doing this with 2 cups of oil. Okay. The sauce here is very simple. You can use my ramp soy sauce, my fermented ramp soy on my website. It's very good. Puffballs were a great version for the fall. I did some kaboka squash that was sliced in little gem puffballs, and that's it. Combine different things, make your own fun seasonal blends, easy to make at home. The full recipe's on my website. There's a link at the top of the video description for that. Thanks for watching.